Hey everyone, just a quick announcement before we start here. Our new original science fiction audio drama, The SOJOURN, is now finally complete and available on Google Books, Scribed, and Patreon. Coming soon also to Audible. There's a link in the description for the website where you can check it out. And if you pledge at Wanderer tier or above on Patreon, not only will you get every episode of The SOJOURN as and when it's finished, but you'll also get the SOJOURN Visual Dictionary, our complete and comprehensive reference book on the world of the SOJOURN, done in the style of the old Star Wars visual dictionaries. So please do check it out if you can. Serving as the mainstay starfighter of the Republic Navy across the first year of the Clone Wars, before falling into a support role for the remainder of the conflict, the slain and corpil V-19 Torrent was a cheap and simple design, quickly developed to meet the enormous demands of the Republic war machine at the sudden outbreak of the Clone Wars. The ship saw extensive action across its short service life, but often struggled to hold its own against the starfighters of the Confederacy. At a length of 6 meters and a wingspan of 26 meters, the V-19 presents an extremely unconventional space frame, built around 3 articulated S-foils that are arrayed below the ship's fuselage when engaged in combat, but must be retracted through the full length of the ship to allow for a safe landing. While these panels do provide effective heat radiation and serve as weapons hardpoints, their positioning leaves the V-19 with an extremely large aft silhouette that frequently proves a lethal vulnerability in combat. The V-19 is armed with a pair of gimbaled slain and corpil laser cannons, supported by a pair of concussion missile launchers, each loaded with 6 medium-yield concussion missiles. The fighter is unshielded and carries only short-range sensor systems, leaving the craft mostly unsuitable for reconnaissance or offensive sorties, and relegating the vessel to close-distance screening duties for Republic warships. The V-19 required months of training to properly operate, even for the naturally competent clone pilots of the Republic Navy, and this led to crucial deployment delays in the immediate aftermath of the Battle of Geonosis. The original production model of the V-19 was not equipped with an onboard hyperdrive, and instead made use of a custom variant of the Siluri 31 hyperspace docking ring for interstellar operations. These devices were stored aboard Venator-class star destroyers, but were rarely used on account of the V-19's poor suitability for long-range sorties. Eventually, the V-19 was refitted to include an onboard Class 1 hyperdrive, which allowed deck space to be freed up aboard Republic carriers by removing the hyperdrive rings. When the first year of the Clone Wars reached its end, the Republic Navy were already in the process of rapidly phasing out the V-19 Torrent across the fleet, to be replaced by the newer Z-95 Headhunter, and later by the Alpha Nimbus V-Wing. These changes came alongside the introduction of the versatile ARC-170 fighter bomber, and drastically increased the adaptability of the Republic's starfighter forces in the second and third years of the conflict. Though the V-19 had been relegated to training and garrison assignments within the Republic fleet, some of the craft remained in combat service with civilian planetary defense forces, like that of the Botahef system, and were often acquired cheaply by criminals and mercenaries across the galaxy. A small number of antique V-19s were even pressed into service with the Resistance, as late as 34 ABY, in a desperate bid by the critically underfunded organization to expand its forces in any way. While the V-19 certainly never achieved the historic renown enjoyed by some of its contemporaries, it can at least be celebrated as a functional stopgap design that held its own long enough for Republic shipwrights to catch up with the quickly unfolding conflict. Though the fighter remains largely forgotten by history, it has retained some small legacy, as many of its design elements would later find their way into Slain and Corpil's most famous craft, the fearsome ASF-01 B-Wing. Thank you for watching Spacedock. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please do check out the links on the screen right now or in the description below for our Patreon and channel membership services. Anything you can pledge goes towards improving our team and our equipment and allowing us to put together bigger and more exciting video projects for you guys on the channel.